the battlefields of World War II. In the chaos of World War II, amidst the thunder of artillery and the cries of the wounded, stories of the inexplicable often emerged from the front lines. One such tale involves Edward "Eddie" Thorpe, a combat photographer attached to the U.S. Army's Signal Corps during the Allied invasion of Europe. Thorpe, a 28-year-old from Chicago with a background in newspaper photography, was tasked with documenting the war's grim realities for military records and propaganda. What he captured, however, went beyond the visible horrors of battle, venturing into the realm of the paranormal. This account is drawn from Thorpe's personal journals, declassified military reports, and interviews with surviving comrades, though skeptics dismiss it as battlefield hallucinations induced by stress and fatigue. Thorpe arrived in Normandy shortly after D-Day in June 1944, embedded with the 29th Infantry Division as they pushed inland from Omaha Beach. His role was straightforward: snap photos of advancing troops, liberated villages, and the devastation left by German forces. Equipped with a speed graphic camera and rolls of black-and-white film, he trudged through mud-churned fields, dodging sniper fire and mortar rounds. But it was during a skirmish near St. Lo in late July that Thorpe's experiences took a turn toward the uncanny. The division was assaulting a hedgerow-lined farmland held by Wehrmacht defenders. Amid the gunfire, Thorpe positioned himself behind a shattered stone wall to photograph a platoon charging across an open field. As he clicked the shutter, he later recalled a strange chill, unrelated to the summer heat, a sensation like ice water trickling down my spine. When the film was developed back at a field darkroom in a requisitioned barn, the prints revealed something inexplicable. In one frame, amid the living soldiers frozen in mid-stride, a translucent figure appeared in the foreground, a German infantryman in full uniform, his face gaunt and expressionless, clutching a Mauser rifle. The figure wasn't there when Thorpe took the shot. No one in the platoon reported seeing an enemy that close without engaging. At first, Thorpe chalked it up to a double exposure, a common darkroom error where two negatives overlap. But the negative was clean, and his assistant, a young corporal named Riley, swore the processing was flawless. It looked like the Kraut was staring right at the camera, Riley later told investigators, like he knew we were there, but he was already gone. Thorpe kept the photo, tucking it into his journal, but the incident unnerved him. As the campaign dragged on into August, during the brutal fighting for Brest, Thorpe's encounters escalated. While photographing the ruins of a bombed-out church where American medics had set up an aid station, he heard whispers, faint German voices murmuring phrases like Hilfe, help, and Mutter, mother. Thinking it was wounded enemies hiding in the rubble, he alerted nearby troops. A search turned up nothing but old skeletons from a previous bombardment. That night, as Thorpe tried to sleep in a foxhole, his camera, strapped to his chest, began clicking on its own, advancing the film without his touch. The next morning, developing the role revealed blurred images of shadowy forms huddled in the church, their outlines resembling soldiers from both sides, locked in eternal agony. Word spread among the unit. Some soldiers claimed Thorpe's photos were cursed, bringing bad luck. One sergeant refused to pose for a group shot, muttering about ghosts following the flash. Thorpe himself began seeing apparitions during lulls in combat, spectral figures wandering the misty fields at dawn, reenacting their final moments. A GI clutching his gut wound, a panzer crewman burning alive beside an invisible tank. These visions coincided with intense battles, as if the veil between life and death thinned amid the slaughter. The climax came in September 1944, during the push into the Hurtgen forest. Thorpe was documenting an artillery barrage when a shell exploded nearby, wounding him in the leg. As he lay bleeding, waiting for evacuation, he saw a group of ethereal soldiers approach. Allied and Axis alike, their uniforms tattered and faces pale. One, a young American private with a bullet hole in his helmet, knelt beside him and seemed to whisper, "Keep shooting. Show them." Thorpe blacked out, but when he awoke in a field hospital, his camera was intact, containing undeveloped film. The prints showed the forest scene as expected, but with faint overlays of those same ghostly troops, as if they'd posed for eternity. After recovering, Thorpe was rotated stateside in early 1945. He never publicly shared his experiences, fearing ridicule or a psychiatric discharge, but confided in close friends and family. His journals, donated to the National Archives after his death in 1978, include sketches of the apparitions and not